We're up to number 6 in our series on the beach house, and we're working on putting a railing around the outside of the deck. So at the moment I want to clone that railing all the way around so that it's completely surrounding the deck. And the easiest way to do that would be to perhaps orbit the camera so that I can have a more sort of direct view. And you can see that I've got the top rail selected at the moment. If I click on select and move and press Control, I can select the posts as well. I'm being very careful not to accidentally select anything other than the posts. That's all I want. And I've got the rail there. Okay, so I've got the rail and the posts, and I'm going to go Edit, Clone, Copy. Okay. Now I'll just do a little move on the clone there to make sure that I've actually got what I want. And you can see that the whole set is heading across to the other side. So I'm going to roughly place it over the other side of the deck. It's going to be about there somewhere. And if I go into a top view, I should be able to find that other set. Where have they gone? Oh, they've gone way out. Okay, then I can bring them back into the correct position. I'll maximise that view and just tweak the location a little bit just to get them right where I want them. Okay, so we've got, now I'll orbit the camera so you can see a better view of that. Okay, so and maximise it. So you can see that we've got some railing. It doesn't really matter that they're going way down into the ground. That just allows for the fact that the ground's a bit uneven and we won't see the part that's actually buried underneath the ground. So I've got some railing there now. I just want to copy that around to the front and back now. So I've still got it selected, so I can just go Edit, Clone, Copy. Okay, and I've got another set there which I can take across, and I want to rotate that 90 degrees. Okay, so I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees that way, and that looked like it went pretty accurately, and then move it back into position. Now I might end up with a slight overlap on my posts. Yeah, so a little bit of careful placement should get them exactly in the same spot, and then no one's going to know there's actually two posts in the same place. I can tweak that up a little bit later if I want to. So now that I've got it going that way, I'll drag it across to the other side as another clone. Get a clone, copy, OK, and take that clone across to here. And once again, try and tweak it up so that it sits just perfectly in the right position. That looks fairly good, I think. So we'll go back and have a look at the overall view. And you can see now that we've got a railing going all the way around our deck. Okay, I'll just zoom out a little bit so you can see that a bit better. Now we'd need an access point with some steps, and I'm thinking that would probably align with the front door, possibly around the side here, or perhaps I'm not really sure where, maybe over the front. So there needs to be some way of getting up onto that deck with some steps. So in order to do that, we would need to ungroup that particular set of rails now. So we simply go, we'll select it first of all. Hang on, I just need the select tool. And interestingly enough, they weren't grouped. Okay, so I can just delete those. Actually, I don't want to take out any of the posts. I just want to actually take out a section of the rail. So possibly I would take out the section of rail between there and there. Now, there's a couple of ways I can do that. I could do a Boolean operation and just chop a bit off, or I could just select that rail and modify its length. That's probably the easiest way. So at the moment I've got it 20,000. I want to lose probably about a third of it, so I'm going to go about, I don't know, 13,000. Okay, and clearly I went a bit too far, so I'll go 13,500, and I'll just keep tweaking it until I get it about right. 13,750, and at some point or other that's going to connect up about right. That post there I'll get rid of. I think I can actually delete that out. And at this stage we want to put some steps in there. Now, to put steps in, there's actually a nice little tool that creates your steps for you. So if you go to Create, over here where it says Standard Primitives, go down to AEC Extended, and there's a thing called, actually I lied, it's not in AEC Extended, it's just in Stairs. Okay? Now, there's different types of, stairs that you can have, spiral, U-shape, L-shape, whatever. We just want a straight stair, okay? So we click on straight stair. Now we've got some options here. We can have it open, meaning that, you know, you can see right through them into underneath here. You can have it closed, you can have it all boxed in. I'm thinking this is a fairly open looking structure, so we'll go with open for now. We'll have a handrail on both the left and the right. And I think now it's time to actually sort of start experimenting with putting that in. So this is where it's going to go, in this area here. We'll maximise that part of the drawing, and we will okay, I'll put it in the wrong way around. That's alright, I can rotate it later. And we can set some height. Now I don't really know exactly how high, what that's going to look like yet, so just roughing it in. I'm going to turn it in that direction by 90 degrees or thereabouts. I'm going to move it back out here like about that, and then I'll go into the camera view and see what it looks like. Okay, actually surprised myself, that's not real bad. Except it's too high. So I'm just going to drop the whole thing down. Now some of those stairs are actually going to disappear into the ground, and I wouldn't worry about that because they're not going to be seen. We'll only see the ones that we want to see. Alright, so we've got a set of steps there now, okay? Now a little bit of modification. So I'm not quite sure what happened to our handrail. Rail path. Left, right. Okay, and I'll just demonstrate also what we can do with, you know, like box looks like that. So it's more your sort of concrete steps. Actually, just for the sake of convenience, I'm a bit inclined to go with them. They look a little bit sort of short in the tread, and the easy way to fix that is to just go select an uniform scale and stretch the whole thing out a bit, and obviously that takes it in under the deck, so now we just need to move it back out so it aligns with the front of the deck. Okay, and we've got a funny bit of lawn creeping in over the top there. I'll fix that later. Okay, so that's just a quick introduction to how to construct stairs. Now we've got a bit of a white theme going here. Not sure if you'd want white steps. You'd probably make them a grey colour. So I'll go to Material Editor. I'll go down to Ray Trace. So I'm making another. Now the actual material defaults to grey. I might even make it a darker grey. If I go into diffuse and just slide up or slide back the whiteness scale, it'll turn into a sort of a dark grey. And that's probably all I really need to do with that. So okay, that's our dark grey colour. We'll right click and assign that material to selection. And we've now got a grey set of stairs. Okay, now you could make them open. I'm happy for you to fiddle around with those. You could put a wood texture on it to match your deck. There's all sorts of things you can do. So that's just a quick intro into how to do stairs. I'll orbit the camera back around a little, and we might we might do a bit of a quick render just to have a look at how the whole thing's looking so far. Okay, so we've got a deck with some railing. Just for safety purposes, we probably need to put some steel wire through there, a couple, 4 or 5 strands of that. I'll leave you to work out how to do that for yourself. I'll quickly do it, but I don't want to take up tutorial time actually doing that. Okay, so in the next tutorial I'll concentrate on how to make up the window frames. Thanks for watching.